Fog update as of 8 a.m. PST, October 2nd. Tropical depression 25 has formed. Yep, 25. That's a lot. LSC has become well enough organized. Convection is formed over it in the upper hundreds, as we have been forecasting over the last 3 to 4 days. The system appears to be moving west northwesterly and has 30 knot winds. And this is what the NAC says. Conditions should be favorable with Virgo share remaining low in 30 sea water as long as it rained over water. It's moving 315 by 8. Let's look at the model data. Here's the GFS neighbors. It takes it northwesterly and keeps it off water. Then after 2 to 3 days, then a ridge goes to the north and it turns westward. This is in line with the hurricane models too. Some models even drag it into the southern Bay Beach in 3 to 5 days. The GEPS neighbors continue to take it in more northwesterly, which is more in line with the parallel GFS, which is really the only model that really takes it more north in the long term. Intensity models mostly show just getting up to around 45 knots. And if it makes landfall, it'll be weaker. If it doesn't, then it'll be a stronger long term. There's the GFS for 18 hours. There's the GFS for 48 hours. It keeps it off land. 72 hours. You can see our second system right here. We can give you a fast look at that. It's right here. And this gets into the Western Caribbean too, and could very well form. We'll have to see. This is for 72 hours, 96 hours, 120 hours. You definitely have a very strong region to the north. Our second system down here, which is the parallel, actually shows it further to the north and stronger. I'm going to show you a quick look at that. Yeah. And also shows the other system to the north, more troughing, opposed to more ridging. That's the general thing of the models. And right now, it's just too early to say what one wins out. The NHC pretty much says the consensus should be northwest for the next couple of days, then westward or west-southwestward to the Bay of Campeche. And there's no reason to disagree with this right now. As for our other system, I think it could form into a tropical cyclone, but there's definitely less model support today. So we'll see. Right now, I'm giving this system a 40% chance of development. What will be gamma in about 24 hours or even 12 hours as recon gets into it. I say it gets up to 45 knots before it clips the Yucatan. And depending on how much of it JADO the Yucatan, that's about what I think. But long term, 96 to 120 hours. Maybe this gets a little bit strong, maybe 45 to 50 knots. Which is kind of in line with the NAC, the intensity models. Of course, it could get stronger, but we'll have to see. Finally, we got what's left of Paulette, which definitely is going to head westward along the ridge, but I remain 20% on this system. Now let's look at Marie, which is a Cat 4. I mean, well, Marie, solid eye convection. I think Cat 4 is probably a little on the generous side, but based on eye warmness, but definitely has pretty intense convection. Um, it hasn't changed very stiffly over the last few hours. Tally estimate from tab is up to 6.5, sub is 5.5. Um, probably with 115 knots. It's moving west-northwest at 290 by 12 knots. It's under a mid-tropospheric ridge over western United States, and that should remain so. We can look at the graphics. Here's the track. Really to the northwest for the forecast period, which is in line with the models. And it should be weakening as it moves into colder and colder water. Pretty much low shear and warmer than 2060 for the next 24 hours then. So we'll have to see. This doesn't look very good. Probably going for that Iowa replacement cycle already. But afterwards, deep southwesterly shear and cool water should definitely weaken it after 24 hours. So they forecast it weakening below hurricane by 72 hours. I agree. And that's in line with the models. What else do we got? Oh, we got a 30% chance that it was probably going to form south of the coast of Mexico. Let's see if we can look at it. And probably some energy down in here. Right here. Let's look at the GFS. Probably right in here. I got Paulette here and Gamma here. Right here. At 96 hours, you definitely get a system forming. 120 hours, you definitely have Gamma weakening as it hits into cold water, while this system is pretty weak. And Gamma is in this in the Gulf of Mexico at 120. Yeah, 144, 168. Longer term, it also it actually does strengthen Gamma into a hurricane, possibly in about 8 day period. Or you get these weak systems in the Eastern Pacific that probably will be named, but probably won't get that strong. If you believe them all, at least. 192 Gamma is 973 millibars. 967 millibars. 216. Oh, well. So, as of today, my opinion, like I said, 45 knots before it probably clips the Yucatan, then 50 knots before 96 to 120 hours as it emerges back over the southern Gulf. But really long term, as it's up in the air, it could be a lot stronger. We'll see. Our second system, we'll have to see what it develops. I think it probably will be a tropical cyclone of some sort, but probably weak. And as for what's left of that, I'm keeping it as 20%. Marie probably has reached its peak. Will be weakening, as all hurricanes do as they move into the cold water. Our system back here will probably become a tropical storm in the next 5 days. We'll see. That's your top update.